How's it going, everybody? Let me check volume. Volume is good. So this is kind of a layered video. This will be about how the Twin Towers and One World Trade Tower hit with prime numbers and a special date we're looking at coming up that makes it very interesting. And I also wanted to show you something that I came across watching the the Belmont Stakes, and it was on Fox, and it's these upside down pentagrams, which is the sigil known as the sigil for the Baphomet and so forth. Let's show you. It's also the Grand Old Party. They used to not be upside down pentagrams. They switched them, and I'm sure you know because they were getting closer to Mr. Big's deal. You know, the future Antichrist coming into play. So there's your upside down pentagrams. That was the more zoomed in close up. And then this one here, this is your Fox. This is them on the set, I think. No, I got one of them sitting on the set. And so it's got to be this one. Well, hang on. So that's them sitting on the set. Okay. And there it is down there. Now we know that Fox is the only word that comes to 666 in one of their gematria ciphers. And it says world numerology. The number 666 translates to Fox and only to Fox. No other English word deciphers to 666. And we remember when Fox TV gave us a TV show called Lucifer. But, you know, hey, NBC gave you the Heidi Bowl, the Heidi game, which we're going to get into today, I think, and gave you Mr. Big's television show, and which was followed by The Voice, which was nothing more than representing the image that speaks, because you have the beast, the false prophet, and the image that speaks. So Trump's TV show was followed by The Voice. The voice, the image that speaks. What speaks? The voice. The voice. You see what they did there. I came across a Facebook post one time, and it was me saying, because I was a big Trump fan at the time and never missed an Apprentice or Celebrity Apprentice, and I said, my goodness, there must be 77,000 commercials for The Voice on this Trump telecast. I mean, on this Apprentice telecast. So I have this. I have this playlist. Volume's still good. So the playlist is called "AI is the Ghost in the Machine, Mark of the Beast," and I will put this in the description of this YouTube video. And when I post it to Facebook from my certain channel, it'll also be in the top comment. And the third one down is called "The Image That Speaks Equals the Voice." And to me, now I still had a camera set up on a little mini tripod on a desk. So it was very, people use the term, you know, well, it just wasn't very professional. We'll just say that. Man. And it's 57 minutes. And to me, in my opinion, of my own work, it's my favorite. It was so much fun doing, and it's all about the Alan Parsons Project album called iRobot. We know about the movie iRobot, and I can even add more to that now, but just the way it stands alone, and it is a fascinating. We get into the music, the songs, but this whole playlist about how artificial intelligence is actually the ghost in the machine, and of course, will be the mark of the beast, because that's the iron. The iron is the technology. Iron Man, because the ghost is in the machine, per the album by the Police in 1981 titled Ghost in the Machine. The AI has always been in the computer. The spirit world would dwell, on what you would call crystal balls, perhaps, or Ouija boards, where Reagan was entered by touching a Ouija board in the movie The Exorcist. Well, by just worshiping the image of the beast through the technology. Remember in 2020, Trump signed 5G and beyond. And Antichrist in Strauss Concordance is G500. Zeros don't mean anything. Remember when he rode the beast around, his limo is called the Beast, and he rode the beast around the track at the Daytona 500? It's all about that 500, because G500 is Antichrist in Strauss Concordance. Every word in the Bible is given a number. And we'll get into that today also. But fascinating video. I've showed you the upside down pentagram. That is the what they call the sigil of the Baphomet. And remember, the Church of Satan was invented, so all these fake churches that are all run by Mystery Babylon, one way or another, spiritually, physically, I'm not going to get too much into it. It's just they don't tell the truth. And when Jesus came the first time, who put him to death and who did he hate? He didn't hate pagans. He didn't run around yelling at pagans. He was upset with those that claimed his God, claimed him, but he called them snakes and vipers and wolves in sheep's clothing and whatever. So anyway, you get the idea. So the other thing I wanted to get into, looking at this date coming up, did you know that the World Trade Center opened April 4th, 1973? That's 404, the way you write that date. And there's 404 verses in the book of Revelation. It's exactly, we know that 187, 11 times, Zechariah 11:17 is the right eye wound Bible verse. Speaks of the right eye utterly darkened. And Zechariah 11:17, 11 times 17 is 187. And believe it or not, the 187th prime number, the 187th prime number, is also 11:17. So God perfected his math in that way. Fascinating. So that's why it's a California penal murder code, and they always use 187 to represent, to glamorize murder. Began in the rap community, and it's just, in the entertainment industry, we'll call it. And so the 187th prime number, and so the right eye darkened Raiders played the Jets. You may know the jet engine killed Donnie Darko, and the Jets, the New York Jets. Why were they named the New York Jets? Well, why is his birthday on Flag Day? I mean, what else? I mean, the list goes on and on. The AI has written the script for this earth. But the right eye utterly darkened, per Zechariah 11:17, Raiders played the Jets in what is called the Heidi Bowl, also known as the Heidi game. And in the Heidi game, if we just Google the Heidi Bowl.
These pictures should match.
If you Google the Heidi Bowl, it's got the Raiders and the Jets. There's the program for that day, and it says 11-17 right up there on top of it. In their world of fake football, after the football game was preempted so that they could put on a movie called Heidi, Raiders scored 2 touchdowns right after that. And broke the switchboard at NBC. So like I said, I can give you a lot about NBC also, and of course, CBS's symbol is the eye, and they even said it's the all-seeing eye. They call it the all-seeing eye of Providence or something. And so what's on the capstone on the back of your dollar bill, so on and so forth. But I gave a pint of blood today, so I think my brain is extra brain foggy and running slow. But I can finish this. So on that day, that became very famous. Now, in the movie Groundhog Day, they have Heidi 2 on the movie marquee. Believe it or not. There was no Heidi 2. There was no Heidi 2. So I double clicked. Where is it? There it is. At the Alpine Theater in the movie Groundhog Day. That's a snapshot, a close-up. And at the Alpine Theater, Heidi 2 this is in the backdrop, walking by the movie theater of the movie Groundhog Day. And we know how they use these movie marquees in the backdrop of the movie Donnie Darko also. There was no Heidi 2. What they're saying is the next event, the Twin Trumps, the Twin Towers, the Zechariah 11-17 event. The right eye utterly darkened moment when the Jets played the right eye utterly darkened Raiders. And One World Trade Center, again, now Trump's got a rally on 6/15, and he's got a birthday party rally the day before. So he's going to go all the way up to Michigan. How many Trumps are there? Well, we know that there's the twins at least, like Bill Maher joked. I think Trump's a set of twins. There's Ronald and Donald. Ronald McDonald. Connor McLeod. Movie The Highlander was all about Trump. And, of course, Trump's maiden name. Trump's mom's maiden name is McLeod. And so there's your Mick, McDonald, McLeod. Connor McLeod was from Scotland in the movie The Highlander, and he couldn't die. He was immortal. And James Bond, Sean Connery, was telling him he's immortal. And in Skyfall, they showed you how 007's mom was from Scotland, just like Trump's mom's from Scotland. And in the movie The Highlander, after he realized he was immortal, he came to the United States. And where did he land? He landed in Queens, New York. Well, guess where Trump was born? Queens, New York. I know. Every movie's about Trump. They admitted, that Biff was based off Trump and Back to the Future too, and so forth. So we're just looking at these dates. We're always look at dates, and I got a lot of dates I'm looking at. I'm really big. September is gigantic, but I'm probably highest on August 17th. But there's so many in July. There's July 1st, July 3rd, July 5th. Everybody's high on because of the eyebrows and of Bush and iPet Goat. 7-9 is murder and simple gematria. You go down on 7-9, rise on 7-11. Very easy stuff. But I'm looking at this 615 right now, and on one certain channel, I've got an extensive playlist on it. But even on this channel, depending on where you're watching, I've got at least 2 videos on it. And on let's look at 617. It's a prime number. Now, if he goes down, if his event is on 615 at this Michigan rally, if his event is on 615, he would spiritually rise. Nobody would know it. But they told you the Dark Knight Rises came out 2 days after the Dark Knight, like Jesus rose on the 3rd day, that Satan would be possessed, or Trump would be possessed by Satan on the 3rd day after they spake and stage the event to the twin. And 617 is a prime number. Well, believe it or not, it's the 113th prime number. That's 11-3. And One World Trade Tower opened on 11-3. 11-3, which is 113 code, which we know what they did to our country on 3/11 or 11-3. Most countries write it 11-3. And notice how they mirror each other. When they open One World Trade Tower on November 3rd, that mirrors, or that was a foreshadowing, or what they did on March 11th, 2020, when Mr. Big, put the LOCK on everybody. That was on March. I'm sorry. What he did was on 3/13, the Zapruder film. It's frame 3/13. But it was the world, that's right, the World Organization made it a worldwide emergency situation. Okay. And 2 days later, Trump did it here in the US. But 3/11 was that big day, which is the mirror of 11-3. But 3/11 is also opposite 9/11 on a circle of a calendar of all 12 months. It's the exact opposite. September 11th is opposite 3/11. And September 11th was all about Revelation 11:7, the beast rising from the pit. Because September was once the 7th month, like October, octagon, octopus was once the 8th month, so on and so forth. December, decade, decameter. December was once the 10th month, but they added Julius Augustus to bump it up for July and August. So think about the 3 Lord of the Ring movies. There was Fellowship of the Ring, followed by The Two Towers, followed by Return of the King, which is also your Fellowship of the Ring is all about the members of Mystery Babylon. The Two Towers are talking about the Twin Towers, the Twin Trumps. And then the third one, Return of the King, which happened to win Best Picture. No movie of that kind had ever won Best Picture before, but you see what they did there. That is One World Trade Tower, which did open on 11-3. And that also represents the Antichrist spiritual rising on the 3rd day of the deadly wound. As you look at all 3 of these, you go back again and look at the Dark Knight trilogy. There's Batman Begins, which was all about the fellowship of, what were they called? Raul Ghul. God, I could not think of it. Ra's al Ghul. And Batman Begins, Ra's al Ghul. Man, I just jacked that up so bad. It's Ra's al Ghul. Um, what does Ra's al Ghul say in Batman Begins? And that was their organization. And Bane, remember, was part of that organization. Looks like my computer is, I guess the AI is messing with me right now. Not very happy with me. So Ra's al Ghul was the enemy of Batman. Of course, they're all mirror images of Batman. League of Nations, League of Shadows. That's what it was. League of Shadows. League of Shadows, Batman Wiki. There you go. So it was called the League. So that was the Fellowship. So Bruce Wayne joined the League of Shadows. So he was part of that.
According to Batman Wiki, fandom, Bruce Wayne joined the League of Shadows to seek the means to fight injustice.
Yes. Which they ended up being, his enemy and so on and so forth. We get the idea. We understand. We know the drill. And so Fellowship of the Ring was really about, his fellowship with the League of Shadows, which is where Bane came from. We remember Trump's Bane speech, where they both mimicked and said the same things. That was my research on the upside down pentagram. Let me find it here. Hang on just a second. I paused, so let me check volume. It's still good. Trump Bane speech. And they both said, we're giving it back to you, the people. It was during his inauguration speech. And Bane said, we're giving it back, transferring power from, and we're giving from the corrupt, and we're giving it back to you, the people. Bane said it and Trump said it. Because, and we know Trump wore the mask at Walter Reed. That was a big deal. Donald Trump wore the mask at Walter Reed. That was all part of the big deal, when he came out and he was walking with all those generals. This was a statement. 2020 was their big statement. It was their ritual of what I believe will be 2024. We shall see about whether it's going to be, next year's the year of the snake, and he keeps reading the snake poem. I don't know if that's to throw us off or whatever, but so let's bring it back here. So Fellowship of the Ring again is your Batman Begins with his fellowship. And then the Two Towers is really the Dark Knight, because the Two Towers going down is the right eye utterly darkened, which happens to the twin towers, the twin Trumps. And we know all the commercials where, Trump hosted Saturday Night Live. A guy was a twin of his. And we know on September 11th, Jimmy Fallon was dressed as Trump, and he mimicked Trump, and so they gave you twin symbolism there. At Trump's inauguration, they had the twin boys playing trumpets. Get it? A horn, a trumpet. The horn was the Antichrist in the book of Daniel, and Jesus said the Antichrist would be here in his own name. I believe that's John 5:43. And a trump is a horn and a horn is a trump, so he's literally here in his own name. And then the Dark Knight Rises is the Return of the King. So it's all the same stuff. And it's all about his spiritual rising on the third day. Now he will come back and show the earth that he had risen from the dead when he puts an end to World War III. Who can make war with the beast? But the Dark Knight, darkened right eye. Donnie Darko was about Donnie's darkened right eye. And again, a jet killed Donnie, like the jet symbolically killed the twin Trumps. Heidi film was based off the book. And so the Heidi book was published in 88, which is Trump and Simple Gematria, 88 miles per hour, out of time license tag. So it was published in 1880, which 88 is Trump and Simple Gematria, and 18, Alabama always reps their 18 helmet. Anytime the Alabama helmet is on TV, it's always number 18 because it's 6 plus 6 plus 6. Like James Bond's car tag is 216 because it's 6 times 6 times 6. And so it's a nice fusion. The 188, when this Heidi book was first published, that the Heidi movie was based off of, that they used for their 1117 event. Now, when I put Heidi in Jewish in the Gematria calculator, Adele comes to it, and she sang the Skyfall song where Bond had his right eye wound, and he said his hobby was resurrection. We've shown you that many times. And where his they went to his old house in Scotland, and that was where his mom was from, just like Trump's mom's from Scotland. And Heidi also comes to NASA, China, Bond, and Jax, which is the new Heliofont video. It's Tom Jax. Heliofont put out IPEC Goat, but they also put out Tom Jax. 38 seconds. 38 is murder in one of the Gematria ciphers. It also comes to Jet, so it comes to it comes to Jet, and it comes to Big Mac, again with the McDonald's. Heidi comes to all of that. Now, it comes to those in simple Gematria. But in the Jewish Gematria, the most biblical, Heidi comes to Adele. That's why she's always had that name. Everything's been in their plan. Everything is their plan. By the way, Heidi is 35 in 3 different ciphers, which I just thought that was fascinating. Heidi is 35 in Jewish Gematria, the most biblical, and how we get that 666 comes to Donald John Drumpf, which Drumpf was the family surname before it was changed to Trump, and that's here is wisdom. It's the number of a man. SIX in Jewish Gematria comes to Donald John Drumpf. We've shown you that many times. Do we need to show you that again? We certainly can. So both Bible prophecies are fulfilled with the Drumpf, the original family surname, and the Trump. So Donald John Drumpf right there. When you key in SIX, and when you key in Don Drumpf, you get 666. In the English Gematria, which is 6 times simple Gematria or English ordinal. In English Gematria, A is 6, B is 12, C is 18. In English ordinal or simple Gematria, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and so on and so forth. So it's the number of a man in both directions, whether keying in 666 spelled out, you get Donald John Drumpf. And to know that that was the family surname, Trump was once Drumpf.
According to Wikipedia, the spelling of his last name had changed by the end of the 17th century. In 2011, the International Business Times repeated an unverified claim that Donald Trump's paternal grandfather, Frederick Trump, changed his name from Drumpf to Trump, possibly to avoid anti-German sentiment popular at the time.
And Snopes even backs it up. They just say it was the family surname. The surname of Donald Trump's family was originally Drumpf, that Donald has never been called Donald Drumpf, but he's a Drumpf. I could change my name to Spaghetti. I can legally change my name to Spaghetti, but I'm still a Stokes. I can't run from that, can I? And, wouldn't want to. But you get the idea. So yeah, so what I was saying was it was in Heidi is 35 in English ordinal and in Jewish gematria, which is the most biblical because that's what gives us Donald John Drumpf and just a lot of deeper stuff is in the Jewish. But it's 30. Heidi is 35 in English ordinal and Jewish gematria. They're both completely different. We know about A is 1, B is 2, Z is 26 in English, but the in the Jewish, like V is 200. I mean, it's got, or U is 200, V is 700, W is 900. Jewish gematria is totally different. Heidi is 35 in both. And just to put a cherry on top, Heidi is also 35 in full reduction, which I think is when Z is 1, Y is 2, W is 3, like it goes backwards. I can't remember. And then there's reverse full reduction. Oh, no, reverse ordinal is what I just gave you, I think. And I don't remember what full reduction is, but boy, Mystery Babylon uses it a lot. Full reduction, you can find full reduction. So, oh, that's where you go 1 through 9 and then start over. So you go 1 through 9 or A through I, and then J starts over again. So you just go through the numbers 1 through 9. And then J would be 1, K would be 2, so on and so forth. And then reverse full reduction is where Z is 1. So yeah, it's, and see, Mystery Babylon through the AI that set all this up, they use this stuff. So then we always look to it to look at their clues and so forth. But just absolutely fascinating. I hope you found this fascinating. I'm putting it on all 3 YouTube platforms. And this 15th being that it's 18700 days, the opening of One World Trade Tower, or the what do they call it? They called it the World Trade Center. It was 7 different buildings. The twins, and one of the twins had a horn on top representing the horn. You know, it's a giant antenna, folks. That represented the horn, plain and simple. And then the exact same thing is on top of One World Trade Tower, the horn. So anyway, I gave blood today. I'm starting to feel like I need to go eat, drink, and get to bed early. And I love y'all very much.